everybody, and welcome to another exciting Copperland video. And in this video, this is January 1st, 2023. We're going to recap all the things that we did in 2022 and then talk about what's going to happen in 2023, God willing. Okay, so this shows some of the projects that we started in 2022. We worked on Gold Turbine Projects. This is our 6-inch hammer mill. This is our miller table, a new type of sluice that we're working on. This is the Gold Turbine that we worked on and we tested last summer. And this is our latest project we're working on, converting a model aircraft wing into a vertical takeoff and landing machine to use in the field for prospecting. Okay, so the reason why we're doing all this is that we're in a global economic situation which was engineered over the last couple of years to, in fact, destroy the little guy's ability to make money and transfer all of the cash from the grassroots or the lowest level of the pyramid up to the upper 10%. And we're going to talk about how we're going to reverse all that, because we can do that. But for now, we're going to primarily focus this year on finishing up Gold Turbine projects and showing you and everybody else in the world how to use a new method of finding and processing gold. Now you say, well, what do we need a new method for? Don't we have enough sluices? Don't we have enough pieces of equipment out there? If that were enough, why aren't there thousands of new gold prospectors in Arizona, Nevada, California, all making a living on gold? It's because you can't make a living on gold with those tools. You need an entirely new set of tools and especially a new process. And that's what we're developing here in Copperland, is a new process for finding and processing enough gold to live on. So that's the main goal we have in Copperland at this time. There'll be other things down the road, such as converting natural elements, natural growing elements into fuels and energy and things like that. The whole purpose for what we're doing is to, first of all, like we said, reverse the economic situation, and also, besides reversing the economic situation, we want to reverse the environmental damage that's going along with the present economic situation. And when we talk about the economic situation, in case you didn't know, 10% of the world's upper rich people own 90% or control 90% of the world's resources. Well, that's not right. We need to reverse that trend, and in the process, if you reverse the economic trend, you'll also reverse the economic damage that they're doing through their processes of greed. Okay, so first thing we're doing in Copperland, like I said, is we're creating a whole new set of tools to go along with a whole new process of how to scientifically find gold and process enough gold to live on. There have been a couple other people in history. One book we just read was from a guy who lived in the 19th century, the 1890s. And after we developed our process, and we read his book recently, we found out he came to the same conclusion, that sampling, using the right methods of sampling, are the key to finding gold to live on. So that's what we're doing in Copperland. We also have a few other projects in Phoenix Navigation and Guidance, another one of our companies. We're continuing to develop mapping databases and a mapping system that'll allow you, it'll assist you out in the field to be able to get to non-locked up areas. You have to be able to navigate to areas that are not locked up in claims. And the only way to do that is to have an in-field navigation unit to show you if you're trespassing on somebody else's claims or if it's open BLM territory. So that's what we're doing in PNG. In WorldCar, we're not really pushing a lot of development in WorldCar, but we'll keep up on it. We already showed you that we're starting to assemble a WorldCar that's going to be usable on trails as well as a commuter. You could use it as a commuter. I've also designed Class 8 truck heavy equipment hybrid vehicles. These are all hybrids, not electric. Electric cars, because there is not enough electricity to go around, will pollute 4 times faster than all other cars and trucks, because the only way to get electricity to keep up with the demand is to burn 4 times as much coal to fire up air conditioners, fans, heaters, and then the electric cars. There's no electricity for electric cars. You're taking that away from somebody's air conditioner. There just isn't enough to go around. To go and forget about nuclear power. The United States has more nuclear breeder reactors than all the rest of the world combined, and they still only account for 2 or 3% of this country's electrical needs. So forget that crap, that's not going to work. You have to either burn coal or you have to go into alternative energy. Wind does not cut it. I've seen massive wind farms just stagnant, not even turning. Solar thermal, not solar photovoltaic, but solar thermal is the only pathway to 100% energizing of the world from a very relatively small area. So those are things that we develop here in Copperland, is solar to thermal turbine power. That's another thing we're working on right now, is the engine of the 21st century, which is a pulse detonation turbine. Combining that with the WorldCar drivetrain, we can achieve more than 100% reduction in pollution. This is the only company and the only technology that can claim that. All the rest are stupid people. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay, so those are some of the projects we're working on. But like I said, we're going to concentrate on Gold Turbine equipment, because this is what thousands of people need right now for new jobs. There are a lot of people out of work and they don't know where they're going to get work from. Well, you can get it in the gold fields. From all these tools we showed you, the hammer mill, the miller table, we have the new sluice we're developing, we have boring tools. Now this is the key right here to finding gold. This is a boring tool. It takes different tips on it. This is a carbide cutter. This goes with the larger tube. Use this unit for when you're doing metal detecting and you want to dig up that nugget really quickly. You use this tube. If you want to dig down or you want to sample what's down in the desert, then you use the longer tube. It's a 1.5 inch tube. You bore down, you take your core sample, you push it out, you examine it under a microscope, and you know exactly where the paste streaks are at without doing a lot of digging. Now for this we've got some options. We've got carbide cutter for the tip, or we got, this is a diamond tip. That's diamond blade. Both of those will be able to be mounted onto this tube. This is not a system for boring into rock. This is not for bedrock. This is not to bore into. It's not to bore into lode or hard rock. This is strictly for softer materials. Either the beach, you can take this to the beach and you can bore a sample from the beach. And you know what's under the beach. You know, if you want to even dig down there in the beach sands, or out in the desert, or at the foot of a mountain, you know what's under there in that gully, and you know right where the paste streak's at. And other things that we're continuing to develop are, this is the Gold Turbine. This is the most efficient way of separating your sands from your gold. Instead of having a lot of black sand and a little bit of gold, this has a lot of gold and a little bit of sand left over. It's the opposite of every other sluice out there. This is the surveillance model aircraft that we're developing. This is going to tell you, it'll go out, it'll send pictures back to see where you're going to do your exploring. That aircraft will save you years of work traipsing over the mountains and the gullies and everything. That'll bring you up really close and show you exactly where you want to go. So these are some of the projects we're doing this year. We'll get you going on gold prospecting so you can create and run your own job if you want it. You say you need a new job. Well, we do too. Get yourself Gold Turbine equipment and you're going to get that AU. So remember, my name is not Jeff. I'm not Roger from Oz. I'm Ken from Copperland. Take care, and we'll see you in the gold fields out in the southwest. Goodbye, everybody.